If your New Year's resolution is to start running and you don't know how to start, you don't know how to do it right, then watch this video. I'm just back from a run, I've just done a cool down, hence the sweaty hair. But I would say that I'm a beginner as well. I've only been running for about 18 months. I started and I struggled to run 2-3 kilometers. It was a struggle when I first started. But now I run about 4 times a week. I run 2 long runs, 2 short runs, 2 long runs between about 10-15k and 2 short runs about 5k each. And I've just signed for my first half marathon in May. But it's exciting. But these are 10 things that I wish that I knew when I started running 18 months ago. Again, not saying that I'm any expert on running, so it's from one beginner to another. Number 1, eat something before you run, whether that just be a banana or a protein bar. That's usually what I choose. I first thought that I like to feel empty when I'm running, so I like to almost fast just so I don't feel anything sort of jumping around. But I realised pretty quick that I'll fatigue so much quicker and I won't enjoy it if I've not eaten just a little bit of something for energy, maybe about half an hour before I go for a run. Number 2, trust me, nobody is looking at you. When I see a runner, no matter how they look, even if they look ridiculous, I only feel envy and like a pride for them, like you go. And that is exactly what other people think when they see you. So I have that feeling for a long time of feeling stupid almost, like running, like a bit embarrassed. No one's looking at you. Number 4, you shouldn't be in any pain. So when I first started running, I injured my knee a little bit and I couldn't run for about 3-4 months after that. And then I had to get back into it a little bit again. And it kind of put me off even because I was starting to feel pain in my knee when I was running and generally after that. And I think the reason was because I was putting so much pressure on myself that I was struggling to even run a 5k at the time. And it felt overwhelming and I was pushing myself to do it, even though I don't think my body was quite ready for that yet. And it felt a little bit crap. So push yourself, but never push yourself through pain. Look up. Now, I would say this is my most important one that I'm going to say. And this was the biggest game changer for my form because I don't know if it's just a me thing, but I feel like I didn't know how to run anymore. I ran when I was a kid a lot. And then you don't run it. I've not ran as an adult for years. So I was just like, am I running right? Like, how do I run? But the game changer for my form was just looking up. And then everything just feels a little bit more natural. Trying to place my foot a little bit more in the center instead of reaching it far back or forward, just sort of like placing it down, not too hard on the ground as well. But just that main thing was just like imagining there's like a string just almost pulling you up. And that just made a massive difference for me. So yeah, try that on your next run. Just try looking up as much as you can, keeping that chest nice and not looking down to the floor because I feel like that's where the energy then goes. Number 6, might sound obvious, but warming up and cooling down is so important because it's going to make you recover, so you're going to want to go again and it doesn't create a negative connotation because you're in so much pain. So I use Yoga with Tim. He has a 5-minute warm-up on YouTube and then he does like a little 7-8 minute cool down, so I alternate them. They work for me, but find what works for you, what causes you less pain, and just use that. You don't have to find a new one every time. Just use the same one. Number 7, walk and then run. Now I think this one's a little bit more of a preference, but when I was starting out, I didn't really know what to do. Like, how far should I be going? How long should I be running for? Like, I didn't know. So what did start to work for me, and remember I said I was pushing myself too much when I was starting as well. So what did help was I started running for like 5 minutes and then I would walk for 5 minutes and I'd do that for like 30 minutes. Then I'd try to do that for longer. And then eventually I would just change it slightly. So maybe 10 minutes running, 5 minutes walking, 10 minutes running, 5 minutes walking. And now I run continuously on my run, but I start and end my runs still with a walk just to sort of get me into the feeling of being outside and moving my legs. So I always do a 5-minute walk first, and then I finish once I've done my like hurrah with a 5-minute walk. Number 8, the right running trainers are so important. Before I was running in my gym trainers, and you can just feel the difference. It makes it so much harder for yourself and you're gonna injure yourself more. Just Google, get some good reviews, find what running trainers work, and it just makes it easier for you and more enjoyable once you've got some nice running trainers. Treat yourself to them. And it also inspires you as well when you buy new running stuff. I'm always like, yeah, I want to wear this. I want to get out and run more. Remember, you will always feel good when you finish a run. I promise you, you will always feel good. I've never not felt good. Even when I hurt my knee and I was in pain, I still felt achievement and good. It's science. There's good endorphins there. And know that there are bad runs and there are good runs always. Sometimes I start running and it just feels natural. Like I just feel like I could keep going. Even when I get to 10K, I'll just keep going and I'm like, oh, I could keep running. I can run fast. I've got all this energy. It feels great. I feel on top of the world. Other times it's a chore. When I start running, it doesn't feel quite right. Maybe I've eaten the wrong food the day before. Maybe, I'm a bit tired and I'm checking on my watch. I'm like, oh, I've still got like this amount to go. And it's not as enjoyable. Recognize that you're going to have good runs and you're going to have bad runs. But at the end, you're always going to feel good. Even after them bad runs, I promise you. There is no bad workout. Number 10, cheer and celebrate. As a beginner, I think that's the most important thing that I could tell you. Cheer and celebrate. You're running. It's so fun. It's so great that you're running. And once you've finished, throw those hands in the air, smile. I always try and have a little look if there's anyone around, but I always try and do a little celebration after I've finished. I'm always smiling, especially if I'm doing a 10K, when I'm at 9K and I'm doing that last one, I'm always I'm running on endorphins basically at that point. And maybe that's why it does get easier as you go, because you've achieved more as you go, I guess. But it also makes you want to go and do it again, because you're celebrating, so you're creating positive connotations and positivity with your run, because you're like, wow, I want to feel this again. Those are my tips. I hope it's helped you. And as I said, I'm a beginner in running. I am no expert at all. But I just wanted to share those tips with you.